During their Super Bowl run, the New England Patriots had to face some of the absolute best defenses in all of football. Their first real test came Divisional Round, Houston Texans. That Texans defense is good as anybody in the sport. Let's jump in. Let's take a look at the third downs from this game. Known passing situations. Let's see how the Patriots managed that front four, especially of the Texans. First third down of the game, 3rd and 10. They're not even going to try to push the ball down the field. They're going to run a quick screen to the perimeter here out of this bunch set. Receiver just going to feather back and catch the ball. It's the point man of the bunch's job to push at the nickel and reverse crack to the corner. He is one. It's the tight end's job here to block number 2, hopefully being frozen in place by that point man. The tackle here is going to set, punch, and release. Set this defensive end. Punch, try to keep his hands out of the passing lane. He would release. He has number 3. Well, number 3 is this backer here who's mugged up in this A gap. So as this tackle works downfield, he's going to anticipate trash coming from inside. He's going to have his head blinking inside, seeing who's coming out to him to get them picked off. Now, when you throw a screen, you want to throw it into the blitz. The idea is if this guy is blitzing, he's running full speed at the quarterback, ball gets thrown out to the perimeter. By the time he recognizes what's going on, he's got to stop his momentum, he's got to turn, he's got to run. By the time he gets to where that receiver should be or where that receiver caught it, receiver's already long gone. So as an offensive player, your cardinal rule on a blitz is do not block a blitzer, and that's exactly what the Patriots get here. Nickel comes off this edge. Free safety comes off this edge. You'll see one of these mug backers. He's going to bounce out, and they're playing a version of what I think is probably one of those vision zero coverages that teams are playing. Cover zero. They're kind of feeling the quarterback, feeling the routes, and rallying to the football. Well, right here, as you'll see, nickel coming off the slot, tight end trying to figure out, he's coming. How am I going to navigate him? I know I'm not supposed to block him. I don't want to make contact with him and kill his momentum, but ends up just a little bit of his shoulder right there. Really good heads-up job by the tight end. Recognizes that he's made contact with that guy, says, I've killed too much of his speed up the field, wheels back, gets him blocked. That was his guy anyway, right? They would love to be able to bypass him and continue on downfield, but he says, I think we got a problem right here. I'm going to wheel back and get him blocked. Really well done. They get the corner covered up. You'll see tackle sets that defensive end and pinching inside because of the blitz, goes outside, finds zero, coming over the top, gets him blocked. Now, let's say that they didn't have to block this nickel. Let's say that they didn't accidentally collide with him. We'd be here. Tight end would go up, and the new number 2 would be this safety. Tackle would get zero picked off. This has got a real chance to convert. I'm not saying they're going to get all 10 yards, but it certainly has a chance. Good call by the Patriots. Good job kind of setting expectations for that Texans defense. Hey, you better watch out. You can't just come screaming up the field. There's a chance we're going to screen you. Second, third down of the game. The Patriots going to try to push the ball down the field this time. They're going to run a post here by the tight end. Outside foot past 10, set an angle based on the coverage. They're going to run the double move on the outside, 5 and in, and pump it. On the inside, they've got a 5 and in. A lot of teams, when they're going to pump this 5 and in on the outside, they'll change this route to a pivot route. He'll come up, push up 5, run in, foot in the ground, drive back out. You can see if the quarterback's taking a look at his pump, he's got his eyes on it. If he doesn't like it, his eyes can come on the same plane straight back down to that check down, working into his vision. Makes it a little easier on the quarterback. The Patriots, they just keep the 5 and in right here. Doesn't matter one way or the other. No way is right, no way is wrong. So when you read this play out, your first read is the post 1. And if he flashes open, you can drive it in there. 2, you would work your pump. And 3, you would work your 5 and in. You'll see on the backside, we're going to get a conversion against this cover 2 look on this side. They've got the half-field safety. They've got the cloud corner up here in press. This receiver going to convert, forced outside release, go route. He's going to try to take this safety and drag him as wide as possible to open a potential window as big as possible for that post route in the middle of the field. Now, you'll see this Mike right here. He does a really good job in this split safety coverage. Looks like a quarter, half coverage. 2 quarters on this side, half field on this side. He carries the Mike, and he does a good job of building a wall on the inside of the Mike here. Mike trying to bend over, can't get through that wall, and sandwiched between that backer and this safety, Drake Maye has to get off of it. He looks outside to his double move. They got a pretty skilled corner out there with a nice cushion off of his man. Maye says, hey, you know what? I don't think we're going to be able to run past that guy. If he was closer, maybe we'd have a chance. But with that sort of cushion, not going to work. He gets to number 3, gets to Diggs right here. Diggs does a very good job on this 5 and in. Pushes up, hits it inside. He sees the Mike, has built that wall on the post, and has vacated. You'll see he throttles this down. He's under control. He knows if he comes screaming across this field against some sort of 2 look, if this guy doesn't get too much width, there's a chance as he's screaming across that he's going to get absolutely knocked out. He's been around long enough to say, I'd rather not get drilled by a linebacker. Throttles in that hole, under control, catch, run, sets up a 4th and 1. On this 4th and 1, Patriots going to motion to 2x2, receiver in the slot. He's going to run a slant, second outside step in breaking route, receiver outside going to run a glance, third outside step in breaking route, and they've got a flat route by the back. As simple as this 3-man route combination seems, it's really, really good at defeating pressure looks. Back in the day in the NFL, most blitzes were 3 under 3 deep zone blitzes. I say most blitzes, that's what you saw a lot of, and teams would actively check to this 3-man concept to defeat that look, and there was a lot of explosive plays for a long time because it's just really hard for the defense to match it up. We saw that first 3rd down of the game, they had that vision cover 0 that they were running the Texans defense. Well, probably the same principles apply, probably pretty hard to pass this thing off. Well, here it looks kind of more traditional 0, but the Patriots know 4th and 1, we're going to get heated up. They bring the blitzers off both edges right here. Now this, the corner, he's tilted inside, might be playing vision, or they might be playing true cover 0. Everybody's got inside leverage man on the guy across from them because they know there's a good chance that it's going to be a quick hitting route to the inside, and they want to be able to jump it and break it up so that they can deny the 1st down. Well, here is this nickel's coming off the slot. That's going to give them 6 rushers, right? And they've only got 5 guys blocking because the back is free releasing. So the quarterback is hot, and he knows if this ball doesn't come out of his hand right now, he's going to get absolutely meleeed, right? Well, the nickel, as he comes blitzing, he sees the back free release. Some teams will say, okay, if he's a free releaser, you got to hit him and disrupt him on your way to the quarterback, making it easier for this guy to cover him. Some teams will say, forget him. You go drill the quarterback. That's his man. He'll figure it out. And some teams will say, hey, you go and you cover that guy, and the guy who is going to cover him will then turn into the blitzer. Here it looks like a little bit of indecision. Goes to friction, that running back out of the backfield says, nah, I'm going to continue on to the quarterback, but now they've lost their man advantage on the pressure. Patriots here, they've got 5 sliding for the 5 rushers. There is no free runner anymore. Maye does know, hey, this thing still needs to come out quick because that guy's going to transition and come and try to get me. Sets, throws the inside slant, going to read it inside out. 1 to 2 to 3. This route being a little deeper than this one to help that timing, help the quarterback in his read. Feels like the slant's going to win. Just gets across that safety's face. Catch, run, touchdown for the Patriots. Huge conversion on the 4th down. Patriots find themselves in 3rd and long again, this time 3rd and 10. Wisely going to chip both edges, right? 55, 51, that's as good a tandem of defensive ends as you're going to see in the NFL. They're going to chip for a good long while up top with the tight end, and then he's just going to trickle out late as a check down, holding him off for as long as possible for the tackle has to overtake that block. They don't want the tackle having to block 55 for an entire down. On this side, back going to check protection. If his man blitzes, got to pick him up. If not, going to come out, going to get a chip to slow down 51, and he's heading to the flat. We'll let these routes play out for just a second so you can see how this is going to shake out. So that inside guy, I'm going to redraw that bunch right here. Inside guy in the bunch. He's running a deep crossing route. And against this split safety coverage, again, another version of quarter, half to this 4x1 set. They had the back on the same side, 4 receivers on one side, 1 on the other, 4x1 set. This deep cross, his job, wall the hash, keep this backer stuck inside of you, and then take him to that backside safety. Get those 2 guys out of the play. They're going to run the 15-yard in here with this receiver. They're creating a high-low, essentially, on this linebacker. You'll see receiver running out. He's going to hold the corner outside. Safety getting depth. They're trying to hit this in cut in front of that safety and behind this linebacker spot. Now, a little bit tough, right? They get great depth. They know it's 3rd and 10. He's dropping all the way to the sticks. Maye looking at it, feels a little bit of pressure in his face and gets off of it. We'll take a look from behind. You'll see this pressure starts on Maye's left. He's got the looping nose over the top right here in this overload front, overload, 3 guys on a side, 1 on the other, nose looping over the top, and he starts getting pressure in his face. That coupled with 51 working the inside move, he starts working to the right. You coach your quarterbacks. You want subtle pocket movement. You don't want to overstride. You don't want to take yourself too far off this line because that's the spot that the linemen are protecting. Well, you can see not so subtle with his movement right here. Sometimes you can't be subtle. Sometimes you got to get away from trouble. Maye starts drifting. All of a sudden, his right guard loses his angle. He's got that defensive tackle in his face. And so he moves too far to the right. It doesn't matter how many guys are blocking 55, reaches out, strips that thing from Maye as he's looking to throw. Patriots extremely fortunate to jump on that thing, preventing the Texans from having 1st and goal on the 3-4 yard line. Into the second quarter now, 3rd and 7. Patriots going to motion to a 3-by-1. They're going to go back to the well. They've got the slant. They've got the glance. They've got the flat route. Instead of the flat coming from the back in the backfield, now it's coming from the tight end on the line of scrimmage. This, like we said, this route combination really good against pressure looks. It can be good against one high zone, and it can be good against one high man coverages. Not so great against split safety coverages, especially the cloud look they're going to get right here, which we'll get to in a second. Backside, they're going to get a conversion. Whatever route this guy was supposed to run, he's got a press corner in his face. He's going to convert it into a fade or go route. Now, they've got the safety off the hash, and odds are Maye's looking over there pre-snap. He's saying, I know I've got my conversion, but it's going to be a double-teamed route down the field. I'm not throwing it. If this safety was in the middle of the field, he might be saying, okay, he's got a long ways to travel if he wants to make a play on that ball. I'm going to put it in the air. But with this guy off the hash, he's saying, don't really like it. Probably a recipe for disaster. Now, at the snap, this safety kicks his vision to the 3-man side, to the field, but even then, he's hanging off the hash. It is a dicey proposition to throw that go. So they get the cloud coverage up top in this version of cover 2 that they're running, and it's going to play out like this on the defensive side of the ball, and the quarterback's going to read it inside out. So he's going to have that slant first, and that slant's going to be running straight to this Mike, and he's going to have the glance second, and the glance is going to be running straight to this hook defender right here, and then he's going to look at his flat, and his flat is running right to that corner in the cloud, waiting for him outside. Not a great situation for the offense, and a really good call by the defense. You can see how this shakes out right here. Slant taken away. Glance has got the hook defender right there, corner ready to rally up and get that flat route on the ground. Coupled that with 250 to 290 pound guys doing everything they can to come and rip your face off, yeah, you got a problem as a quarterback. It's going to happen. You're going to have your eyes on the wrong side. Can you make the best of a bad situation? Maye does right here. Exceptional job avoiding the defensive end, takes off running, gets himself to the sideline, breaks a tackle, converts the first down. Good job by Drake Maye. Very next possession, 3rd and 9. Patriots going to run a version of deep cross. Tight end, the deep cross runner, shallow cross coming from the receiver, building their high-low 3-level route, probably a called go route to the single over here with the deep crosser coming. This motion man going to go out and back in, trail the play just in case the quarterback needs him late in the down. Now, they just came off the field. They just ran that flat, slant, glance combination. They saw the safety kicking from the weak side, probably talked about, hey, I know it's not great, but that's really our best option on that play. Do you think you can get it up and down before the safety can get there? So they've got the go route drilled into their mind. Then they come out, they've got the go called, and now they get that safety sitting in the middle of the field, and Drake Maye's licking his chops because he's one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL, says, yeah, this is a yes. I'm going to put this one in the air. Interestingly enough, this is the exact same coverage from the Texans from a very, very different look. At the snap here, you'll see this safety drops down. He becomes the kick safety coming from the single receiver side. So it's as if on that last rep when he started out here and then brought his vision to the 3 receiver side, it's no different, right? But now he's starting in the middle and doing the same thing from there. Nickel backing up, or this safety in this hook zone backing up, becoming the quarter safety on this side. Just an interesting way to get to the exact same coverage. This time, doesn't necessarily work in the Texans' favor, though. Instead of getting the quarterback off of that go route and forcing him into the actual concept, Maye says, there's no way this guy's going to make it. I'm letting this thing rip. Now, this is a great great route by the single receiver. He's got the go route. He's got this press coverage, but there is space between them. He needs to close that space. So he does. He closes the space between them. He gives a hard jab to the inside, a good, believable move to the inside to get this guy to move. He keeps it tight to his hip and then gets vertical down the field and saves plenty of space for the quarterback to throw it over his outside shoulder. Right there. Gets up, closes the space, hard, believable move to the inside, gets vertical, and saves space for the quarterback. The margin for error on the throw increases based on how much space you're able to save. Does a great job right here. Maye with a very, very rare miss down the field. It looks like it still has a chance to convert. They're unable to make it happen, but a good decision right there. Great job by the receiver, just not able to convert. 3rd and 13 now for the Patriots, going to run clear and dig. Got to push the ball down the field if they want to convert. They know if they want to push the ball down the field, they have to chip both edges. Tight end going to chip, arc into the alley, hook up as a check down, back going to chip the other edge. Texans counter. Again, they've got the overload front, trying to get the line to slide to the 3-man side right here so they can work the games that they want to work. They're going to run double buzz coverage. They're going to have 2 safety spots buzz down into these hook zones. The underneath guy is going to go out into the curl flat area, and this safety going to work the middle of the field. Going to be hard, right? 3rd and 13, hard enough as it is, and the reason it's hard is because the defense knows you've got to throw the ball down the field to convert. So the inside guy on the clear out, he knows he wants to inside release everybody he comes across, and the dig coming in behind him. Well, this buzz safety essentially right in the window for that dig, taking it away. Maye saying, way too risky. I got to check this thing down. Gets it to that tight end. Tight end doing a good job on the chip. Yes, you say, is he the hammer or is he the nail? Probably the nail right there, but every fraction of a second that these defensive ends spend messing around with him is a fraction of a second that they're not messing around with him, right? So a good productive rep by the tight end. Maye says, that double buzz is too scary. I don't want to throw an interception right here. I'm going to check it down. Let's see if we can catch and run. If we can't get the first down, we're punting with better field position. Good decision again by Drake Maye. Jumping ahead now, we'll take a look at 2 more third downs from the second half of this game. You'll see the Texans now, they've got backers mugged in both A-gaps, and if you're getting your ends chipped, particularly by the running back, this is a great way to counter that. When you put these backers in the A-gap, the back in most instances is going to be responsible for one of them. Rarely in the NFL, especially if you're trying to push the ball down the field, are they going to put the back on the defensive end and slide the line. Teams might do that on quick game, but that's a recipe for disaster, putting a guy who's a runner on a guy who's a pass rusher. You tend to lose those battles against these premier defensive ends. So if you mug these guys up, he has to honor one of them. And even if they don't blitz, the odds of him then being able to recover and get a clean chip on your defensive end have dropped drastically. So good here by the Texans trying to get this back out of the chip game. Well, the Patriots say, okay, we don't think you're blitzing everybody. We're going to pop that back out, get into empty. You're going to have to show us. How are you going to cover him? Are you going to leave both those guys in there? Then we know that they're coming. Or is somebody going to bounce out and cover him, and then we know the gig is up, it's actually covered? Sure enough, guy bounces out. They end up playing what appears to be one rat. Now, this safety's staying off the hash to the weak side. It doesn't necessarily look like one rat to the quarterback. One rat being man coverage, man, with a low hole player from a linebacker spot. So here we get one rat, even though this safety well off the hash to the weak side. And they've got a good one rat beater, especially with the safety stuck to the weak side. They're running slot fade right here. They've got the 5 and in on the outside and the post by the tight end. That post would be alive. Imagine this safety in the middle of the field. That post would have a chance if the quarterback could navigate that low hole player with it, but with that split safety type look, a lot less likely to try to throw that post. So this ball needs to go to this slot fade. I should say needs. Slot fade, a very, very good option on this play, and that's exactly where Maye is going to go with it. He knows that As soon as he takes that snap, he's got the eyes on the weak side safety. He knows I'm throwing that slot fade. Drops, takes his drop, 3-step drop, 1, 2, 3, hits that back foot, one shuffle forward, goes to put it in the air. This is well defended by this corner. It's going to have to be a back shoulder throw. I say corner by the nickel. Going to have to be a back shoulder throw, but you can see this thing's a sack, fumble, ball popped out from behind. Let's take a look now. We've got 51. 51 as good as it gets in the NFL. Rookie playing left tackle. Obviously, left tackle here took a lot of heat for the Super Bowl. That is a rookie. Rookies in the NFL, if you're relying on rookies to win games, you're probably going to have a problem. And the Patriots made it to the Super Bowl with not one, but 2 rookies on their offensive line. And it's not 2 rookies on the offensive line. It's 2 rookies directly next to each other on the offensive line. Virtually every team in the NFL, it'd be over. The season's done. Pack it in. Get ready for Cancun. Patriots find a way to make it to the Super Bowl. So these guys, okay, we can get on them right now, but their future probably pretty bright. All right? Right here, left tackle, though, gets beat. 51. Takes that arm, pops that ball out of there. Great play by 51. Guy's a freak. Another 3rd down here for the Patriots. Final scoring play of this game. Again, Texans say, hey, we got to mug up so that they can't chip both edges. This time the back, part of the protection, he walks up into that A gap. If this backer blows the gap, that's his guy. Now this defensive end, Texans getting what they want, not going to get chipped no matter what. Tight end on this side, still part of the chip. They're going to run 9-8-9 or double go. 9 route is a go route here. They start with the X, the single receiver. The next digit, the post. An 8 route, a post. He's going to go outside foot past 10, head to 15 yards on the opposite hash against a single high defense. Against 2 high defense, he's heading to the near hash. And a 9 route down here at the bottom, another go route. 9-8-9. If you're using words instead of numbers, you go double go. Different ways to read this. If you're going to read it the way I learned, you'd have to read this 1. Your post route would have to be 2 because he's coming into the quarterback's vision, and your check down would be 3. Your go route to the field would be a true yes-no. Right here, Drake Maye likes his matchup. He's got Boutte out there, says, hey, that's my go route runner. Really good job. Boutte closes the gap right here. A little bit of a hop, but not the end of the world against press man coverage. Maye sees the safety go to the middle of the field, gives him the green light to put this thing in the air, hits his back foot, one shuffle forward, lets it rip. Boutte with great acceleration down the field. You can see shaves that hip of the DB, gets vertical right now, saves the space. Looks like right about here he's putting his left arm into the body of the DB to maintain that space, and then just enough reach with the one-handed grab at the end to get the touchdown and win the game for the Pats. Nice job, especially in that sleet, snow, rain, whatever the heck they got to deal with there.